Feel that fire burning inside? That fierce, unstoppable flame that no one saw coming but you? Welcome to the raw truth about rising when the whole world seems set against you. This isn't some sweet fairy tale about luck or easy victories. This is the story of pain, silence, and relentless power. It's about standing tall when every voice tells you to fall, about turning every jab, every doubt, every lonely night into fuel for your unstoppable rise. Today, we dive deep into how the world tried to break you, but you rose anyway, stronger, sharper, and more fierce than ever. So buckle up, because this journey isn't for the faint-hearted, it's for the warriors who refuse to bow, who rewrite the rules, who turn every no into a roar of victory. And hey, before we jump in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Twist Mind, where your mind's limits are shattered and your power is unleashed. Let's get into it. Whoa, hold up. This is the kind of fire that scorches lies and blasts open the darkest, nastiest corners hiding the truth. They tell you, everyone gets a fair shot. What a steaming pile of nonsense. That's the biggest lie ever sold to keep you trapped in silence, stuck in the shadows. But you see through the smoke and mirrors. This world, it's no playground, it's a cage, built to silence the brave, to drain the strong until they're empty, to bury dreamers under rules made by cowards who never dared to dream themselves. From the very start, you were handed a broken deck, a rigged game stacked against you. Sit down, blend in, don't question, don't rise too fast. The moment you dared to step out of line, the grip tightened, walls rose higher, wrapped in barbed wire of doubt and fear. Others? They walked red carpets paved with ease and applause. You dragged your soul over gravel, fought storms no one saw, and still, you stand. And here's the laugh. They rewarded the mediocre and punished excellence, especially when it came from you. They never expected this. You didn't break. You didn't fold. You didn't beg for favors or applause. Inch by inch, storm by storm, you pushed forward silently but fiercely. They gave you every reason to quit, but you gave yourself one more reason to fight, because deep inside, you knew this world wasn't made for your victory. But guess what? It can't survive your rise either. You saw through their fake smiles and hollow claps. While they celebrated the loud and lucky, you bled in silence, building your throne from the pain they discarded. They mistook your kindness for weakness, your silence for surrender, your patience for passiveness. But you weren't passive. You were planning, not weak. You were waiting to strike. Now, your name makes them uneasy. Your presence shatters their structure. The one they expected to stay down vanished into shadows. You rose, walked through fire, and emerged glowing. Doors weren't opened for you, so you kicked them down. No place given. You carved one with your bare hands. No applause? You learned to clap for yourself. And now, standing unbent, unbeaten, they don't know what to do. You broke every rule meant to cage you. You proved that no matter how rigged the game, there's always one who rewrites the rules. That one? That's you. Wow. Just wow. Oh, can you feel that sting? Like they didn't even have the guts to throw punches, so instead they sent their words, sharp, sneaky, venom-coated, dressed up like jokes to laugh as they stabbed you deep inside. Laughing while you bled silently, stabbing your spirit with compliments that cut like knives. They thought their words would chain you up, invisible shackles squeezing your mind, heavy with insults, dripping with judgment. Whispering your limits like lullabies, hoping you'd fall asleep inside your own potential, hoping that fire burning bright in your soul would sputter out. You're too loud, too intense, too different. But you know the truth. They meant you were too real for their fragile world. too raw, too powerful to handle. You walked into their rooms and shattered their lives without even trying. You refused to play their fake games, refused to water yourself down just to fit their shallow molds. So they tried to shrink you with words, to squeeze you into a box so tight it would crush your spirit. But instead of breaking, you absorbed it all. Every insult, every sneer, every whispered "you'll never make it" was fuel. Fuel for a fire that roared to life inside you. You burned their poisonous words in the furnace of your determination and let the smoke rise, a blazing signal to the world screaming, "I'm still here, and I'm far from done." Here's the wild twist. They thought you listened to believe them. No, you listened to remember. Remember every slight, every doubt, every sneer, and used it as a ladder to climb higher. When they spoke, you climbed. When they mocked, you focused. When they laughed, you built. You didn't respond with anger. You answered with results. You didn't stoop to their petty fights. You rose above to claim victory. And now, their words bounce off you like harmless noise because you've leveled up beyond their language. Those same mouths that tried to bury you now choke on your name. Your name carries weight, respect, power you forged silently in shadows. You're no longer defined by loneliness, the silent storm everyone fears but few dare to face. They thought it would break you, shatter your spirit like fragile glass slipping through trembling hands. They believed isolation would poison your soul, making you question every step, every dream, every bit of who you are. But here's the delicious twist. They didn't know you. When the world stopped calling your name, when the noise died down and the crowd disappeared, something fierce began to awaken inside you. While others ran from silence, terrified of their own thoughts, you embraced it with open arms. You welcomed the stillness, letting it stretch over your nights and echo deep within your chest. And instead of crumbling beneath its weight, you built. You forged armor from the darkest hours, trained your mind like a fearless general commanding an army. You took the sting of being forgotten and turned it into a blazing fire of being unforgettable. Loneliness didn't destroy you. It polished you, stripped away every fake friend, every shallow word, every mask you wore just to survive. It forced you to face the raw, unfiltered version of yourself, the version that shakes those who survive only in packs, who need constant validation, who crumble when left alone with their own minds. But not you. No, you didn't just survive the silence, you dominated it. You walked through endless seasons with no hand to hold, no cheers to fuel you, no spotlight to warm your skin. And yet, you moved forward. Now you don't need noise to feel alive. You don't need a crowd to feel whole. You became your own power source, your own anthem. Those endless nights, they sharpened your endurance. Those mornings when your heart was heavy but you rose anyway, they built your discipline. Every moment alone was a lesson, a rep, a thread weaving strength into your soul. And now you walk alone without fear. You stand in silence and hear your purpose roar louder than any outside voice. That strength terrifies them because people like you, those who have danced with solitude and made peace with it, are untouchable. You don't fear being left behind because you've mastered leading yourself. And when you finally step into the light, when you own the center stage, it won't be because someone handed it to you. It will be because you built yourself in the shadows where no one was watching. That loneliness, it didn't steal from you. It gave you an edge they'll never understand. It made you dangerous, not with hatred, but with clarity. Not with anger, but with unshakable resilience. And now that you thrive without a crowd, no crowd can hold you back. You didn't grow in their praise, you grew in their absence. Wow. Oh, the delicious irony. They wanted you to explode, didn't they? To lose control, scream and shout, give them the perfect excuse to label you unstable, angry, uncontrollable, just another face to dismiss without a second thought. They poked, prodded, twisted truths, lied boldly, testing your limits like setting a trap. But it wasn't about winning. No, it was far darker. They wanted to cage you, to contain that wild, fierce power flickering in your eyes. And it terrified them to their very core. So they reached for the coward's toolkit, disrespect masked by fake smiles, mockery dressed as jokes, betrayal hidden behind friendly words. They waited. Oh, how they waited, for you to crack, snap, give them the chaos they craved so desperately. But you didn't play their game. No screaming, no lashing out, no grand spectacle. Instead, you gifted them silence, stillness, control. Not the kind you beg for, but the kind you earn, the kind that commands respect. You stood tall in the storm's eye. And guess what? Instead of breaking, you stared back, steady and unshaken. Like the storm itself answered your gaze. Your mind became your deadliest weapon, sharper than any blade, colder than the fiercest winter night. While they tried to ignite your fury, you stoked the fire beneath your focus, burning brighter with every attempt. That refusal to react, that iron control, is more powerful than 1,000 angry words combined. When they wanted you broken, they saw you breathe instead, and everything shifted. You ceased to be the victim of chaos. You became its mirror. And mirrors? Oh, they terrify those hiding behind masks, those living in shadows and lies. You didn't react because you didn't need to. You had something greater on the line, a legacy to build, a future to claim. Legacies aren't forged in rage. They're crafted through mastery of self. You weren't weak for holding back. You were surgical precise, a silent force so powerful it needs no noise to prove its presence. Now those same voices that once mocked you weigh their words carefully. They hesitate, second guess, because they've seen what happens when you stay composed, steady, unflinching. They feel the weight of someone who doesn't stumble for attention, who doesn't react just to be noticed. You became the enigma they can't solve. In a world obsessed with controlling narratives, being unreadable is power. You chose control not from fear, but because you conquered the war within first. They haven't. That's why they rage. That's why they poke. That's why they want you to fall. Because your calm exposes everything they haven't mastered. And here you stand, unshaken, unbothered, unbreakable. Not because you don't feel, but because real power doesn't need to prove itself in chaos. Real power watches chaos and doesn't blink. Ah, luck, the sweet lie the world whispers to keep people comfortable, to make them believe success is some random roll of the dice, a chance they either win or lose. But you see through that smoke and mirrors game. You weren't handed success on a silver platter. You didn't stumble into greatness by some cosmic favor or mysterious miracle. No, every inch you've climbed, every door you smashed open, every barrier you shattered, it happened because you refused to quit. When the world screamed, "Enough," you whispered back, "Not yet," and kept moving forward through the darkest nights, long after the crowd had given up and gone home. You woke up tired but still laced your shoes, ready to fight another day, grinding while others dreamed. You swallowed rejection, failure, disappointment, and turned them into your secret arsenal. You learned to hate giving up more than you feared falling. While others prayed for miracles, you created your own. While they searched for shortcuts, you took the hardest roads and made them your path. They called it luck when you succeeded, because they never saw the relentless hours, the silent sacrifices, the battles fought deep inside your mind. You carried a weight they never noticed, a fire so fierce it burned through every obstacle. You didn't pray for luck, you prayed for strength, and then you built it with your own hands. Every setback wasn't a wall but a stepping stone. Every no was fuel that ignited your fire higher. And when they asked how you did it, how you survived the storm, you didn't hand them easy answers because there are none. Only one truth: you refused to quit. That refusal echoed louder than their doubts, shaking the foundation of everything they expected from you. They wanted a story of defeat, but you rewrote the ending with sweat and stubbornness. You weren't lucky, you were relentless. And relentlessness isn't a gift, it's a choice. It's waking up every day and deciding that no matter how tough it gets, no matter how many times the world screams stop, you will push harder, go farther, and rise higher. That's the story they fear the most, because relentlessness can't be bought, sold, or stolen. It's forged in the fires of pain, discipline, and hunger. You didn't just survive the chaos. They think you were lucky, but you know the truth. You were the storm itself, unyielding, unbreakable, unstoppable. You weren't lucky, you were relentless. They thought the fire they lit beneath you would burn you down, that it would turn you into ashes they could sweep away, forget, ignore. But they didn't realize you weren't made of the same stuff. You weren't built to burn out. You were built to burn brighter. Every insult, every betrayal, every night you cried into the silence, that wasn't your breaking point. That was your ignition. That was the strike of the match against stone. They fed the fire thinking it would destroy you, but they accidentally forged a wildfire. See, people don't realize that silence isn't surrender. Sometimes, silence is the sound of strategy. It's the calm before the storm. While they mocked you, doubted you, whispered behind your back, you were watching. You were learning, you were building in the shadows, quietly, patiently, powerfully. You remember every time they said, "You're not good enough." You replayed every cold shoulder, every fake smile, every time they used your pain for entertainment. And what did you do? You let it sit, let it sting. You didn't scream or beg for mercy. You let that pain seep into your bones. You welcomed it like an old enemy, knowing it was about to become your weapon. Because when you rise, and you did rise, it's not to prove them wrong. No, you rose to prove yourself right. You rose to remind the world that pain isn't weakness, silence isn't defeat, and scars aren't shame. They're the signature of survival. You didn't crumble under their weight. You used it. You didn't beg for validation. You became your own source of power. And now they watch from the sidelines, stunned, shocked, laughing nervously, clapping awkwardly, trying to rewrite history to make it seem like they believed in you all along. But you know the truth. They didn't want you to win. And now that you're winning, they're terrified of what comes next. You carry that fire inside you now, not as a burden, but as a force. A dangerous, beautiful, untamed blaze. They thought they were ending you, but really, they were just helping you evolve. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder how you did it. Because you're not looking back, you're too busy burning forward. Wow. Oh yes, pain, that relentless beast lurking in the shadows of every soul, the heavy weight that tries to crush dreams and break wills. But you didn't just endure pain, you claimed it as your own. You took that raw, biting ache and twisted it, forged it into a fierce, unstoppable force. They thought your suffering would shatter you, drown your spirit in despair, but oh, how terribly wrong they were. You flipped the script with a wicked laugh, turning pain into your fiercest ally. Pain became your brutal teacher, the one who revealed the depths of your strength when everything else seemed lost. You didn't run from the endless dark nights. No, you danced with the shadows, fueled by a hunger no comfort could satisfy. Pain sharpened your senses, ignited a fire inside you that no storm could extinguish. It gave you lessons no book could teach, lessons in grit, in resilience, in standing tall when the whole world wanted to watch you crumble to dust. You let pain carve away the fake layers, the doubts, the fears whispering for you to quit, until only the raw, fierce, unbreakable you remained. Those scars you carry? They aren't marks of weakness. They are badges of honor, proof that you faced battles others fled from and emerged victorious. Pain became your blueprint for power, a daily reminder that no matter how hard life hits, you can survive the worst and stand taller than ever. You learn pain is temporary, but the strength it builds inside you, that lasts forever. It fuels every step you take, pushes you beyond limits they claimed you couldn't cross. Instead of letting pain turn you bitter, you made it beautiful. You transformed suffering into purpose, struggle into strategy. So when life punches you down, you don't just fall, you rise with a roar that shakes the very world. Pain is no longer your enemy. It's the blazing fire in your eyes, the steel gripping your hands, the thunder rolling in your voice. It's why you're still standing when so many would have given up. And that terrifies them more than anything. Because they see the pain they tried to wield against you, but instead of defeat, they witness a force that will never be stopped. You didn't just survive pain, you made it serve you.